Oh, it is? It's us right now? Is Ray here? Ray? Are you there?
What do you want?
Oh, okay.
We got to blame Ray for the dead air. Ray, where were you? We needed you, Ray.
I had to yell at the dog.
What's your dog's name?
He doesn't get a name. He's forfeited it by his behavior.
Okay.
That's so funny.
Wow. Okay, what can you tell us about the dog? What kind of dog is it? How old?
He's a pain in the ass, and he's 11.
That's a rare breed.
Wow.
Is that a purebred pain in the ass?
Most animals are a pain in the ass,
Well,
as most humans are.
That's
true. Animals are humans. That's fair.
Yeah, it's Ray Ariel, brought to you by the Department of Healthcare Services, which is appropriate. Willard and Dibs, 95.7 The Game. We'll get to your calls in a little bit. Ray, what is this? You know, we've put a lot of importance, I think, on the number 4, the rings. Nobody in this city has more than 4. Joe Montana, Ronnie Lott, they're sidekicks. They're the gold standard right now. What does this mean tonight if the Warriors get a win historically, this particular group? How does that kind of vibe with you?
Well, I mean, it's the same number that the 49ers won in the 80s. Other than that, it doesn't really vibe me at all. I mean, it's a phenomenal achievement in sports history, but I don't know that the number 4 in and of itself does much for me. And I would remind you that they haven't won Game 6 yet. I know that that's sort of the station's standard policy here is to pretend they're going to win tonight, but there's no guarantee that's going to happen. They're playing in Boston. Boston is still a very good team, and there are at least 2 occasions that I can think of where Boston showed how good they were.
And the resiliency that they've shown in these elimination spots versus the Warriors 0-3 in these playoffs in their first chance at eliminating the opposition. So let's go X's and O's, Ray. If Boston is to win Game 6 tonight, what has to go right for them?
Well, they have to resuscitate Al Horford. They have to get a better night's work out of Jaylen Brown than they got in Game 5. And they need an appearance from at least Derek White, if not Derek White and Grant Williams, because Game 5 was all about 2 guys. And frankly, Boston can't win with 2. They've got to have 4. I mean, they're defending well enough, but offensively, you can't in this era score less than 100 and expect to win. It's just, it's not feasible, especially against a team like Golden State that has the kind of intermittent firepower that it has. So Boston's problem is offensive. They need more guys to kick in.
Ray, I'm going to take issue for a second with the comment that it's the station's policy to act like they're going to win. First of all, this is definitely an if. It's not a when. It's definitely an if. But are you not sensing that the Warriors, especially defensively, have found something here that's going to be hard for the Celtics to overcome?
I know that it's happened in the last 2 games, but I don't know that we can say that it's, a precursor of what comes in the future, because Boston still has things it can do. And if this was 3-0 or 3-1, I'd say, yeah, you've got a pretty good indication. But Boston looked pretty good in Games 1 and 3. And after Game 3, all the talk, both in and out of town, was that Boston had this. So I think this is largely or almost exclusively a matter of the last thing I saw is the only thing that can possibly happen in the future. I think most of what this series has been wildly erratic for both teams, which means that anything is conceivable, and more than just conceivable, it might be probable. We might get a game that's decided by 3 or a game that's decided by 30. I mean, I don't know that I trust either team going into a game to do exactly the things I think they will do.
Can Draymond Green be the Draymond that the Warriors need him to be, the Draymond he's been at home, despite the fact that the 2 games in Boston, he was completely a different player?
Yeah, there's nothing that prevents him from doing that. I mean, he's been, in Game 5, after he was pretty much buried with his Game 4 performance, he was really quite useful. So I think, with him, it's not about where he's playing as much as it is, how quickly he commits to the task at hand. And when he gets off quickly, he usually stays there. I mean, the only thing that will prevent him from having a game like he did in Game 5 is foul trouble, which he could certainly get into. I mean, the officiating crew could certainly put him in a box early. But I think barring that, there is no reason for him not to be as good as he was in Game 5.
Ray, that doesn't necessarily sound like your dog. What is this party going on behind you right now? What are these noises that are happening?
These are my dog creating all the noises himself.
That is your dog?
He is a marching band of agony.
Well, yeah, he sounds very upset.
Yeah. My wife left to take our niece and our nephew and her girlfriend to the ferry, and he's having a seizure of calves because he doesn't like her leaving.
Oh.
Like I said, pain in the ass.
So your wife is his favorite.
Oh, no question.
Okay. That's not like I want to say this in the most respectful way. That's not surprising, Ray.
Not surprising. It is absolutely the only reason keeping him alive right now. Because if it were up to me, he'd be getting the burlap goodbye.
Okay. Well, no wonder he sounds like that.
Night.
Do you have some treats or something? Something. A pillow? I don't know.
I've closed the door. He's downstairs. I don't know what else I can do except send him outside and lock the doors.
So what does he do during the game? What are you doing to watch this game tonight, and how are you staying focused with all of that going on?
Oh, he doesn't do this when my wife is home. In fact, this is one of his rare real outbursts.
Oh, it's incredible. So
he sucks on a galactic scale.
It's just too much to handle right now. The noises in the background. So how will you watch the game, Ray? Because I know you're doing the pregame show, and then do you speed home and catch it in the car on the way?
Yeah, and then when I get home, I promptly, sit down on the couch and do nothing for 2.5 hours.
Sounds delightful, actually. Sounds like. But Ray, go take care of your dog, will you please?
Oh, excuse me. Just hold on a second. Will you shut up?
Wait, were you talking to us? Or were you talking
No. That comes when you play that stupid jingle.
Okay. Oh, okay. There it is. Yeah, thank you.
Let's play him off.
You're the worst ever.
To the Ray area.
It just doesn't matter.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ray Ratto.
Thank you, Ray. Appreciate you.
Ray.
Love you.
Want a dog?
On the trading block.
There it is. Ray's dog, a free agent, unrestricted at the end of the season. We'll see how it all works out. It's a bold strategy.
Unrestricted.
That's a solid 3.
Thank you, Kyle. Mm-hmm. Okay.
When the wife's away, the dog will annoy Ray.
Very good. All right, 888-957-9570. Let's get out to all of you here. Your text welcome as well. Xfinity mobile text line 888-957-9570. Trimark has been partnering with independent restaurateurs in Northern California for over 55 years. Trimark brings you innovative product solutions to help your hospitality business thrive. Visit TrimarkWest.com, and let's visit with Emil in the city on Willard and Dibs. Hey, Emil, what's going on? What are you doing?
Fellas. I'm a Celtics fan, living in San Francisco 13 years. Really enjoying you guys yucking it up, talking about a fourth championship. Like, the Celtics were here before, right? They were at Milwaukee. They got crushed in Game 5. Marcus Smart got embarrassed with the end of that game. They were down 3-2. They came back to win in 7 against the defending champs. The Warriors been here, too. They were up 3-2 against the Cavs. So, keep yucking it up, keep talking about it. Do not let the Celtics.
Emil, hold on. I'm going to both validate your feelings, but I'm also going to reject them. Nobody here is planning a parade. Every time we've brought up tonight, we've used the word if. If you want to play this "we're being disrespected" card, Take it somewhere else. Nobody's doing that. We have given the utmost respect to the Boston Celtics at all times. However, the Warriors now have control of the series. It doesn't mean it's not going to flip back. In fact, I'm sitting over here trying to fire up Dan Dibley and tell him how important tonight is, because you can't let opportunities like this go. However, your point,
oh boy,
the Celtics have been here before. Oh, like hell they have.
No, they have not.
This is the Golden State freaking Warriors, Emil,
NBA Finals.
and it's the finals. So don't give me the Bucks and the Heat and tell me that's like taking on Steph, Clay, and Dre, who have never lost a playoff series in their lives when they all start every single game. So, two sides to that coin, and I'm going to flip both of them now, okay?
All right. Well, listen, earlier you guys were talking about going to who you're going to party with tomorrow. I remember you had your caller earlier talking it up, and you guys were like, who are we going to go party with tomorrow? The parade, this thing and that thing.
No, that wasn't this show.
That might have been the previous show, Emil.
That wasn't this show.
Might have been the previous show. And thank you for the phone call. And Mark, you don't need to fire me up. Maybe it's because I've been around a little bit longer and I understand a greater perspective than most of you out there, but I'm as fired up as I need to be. Come 6 o'clock when the game actually tips, yes, we'll all be revved up and ready to hopefully celebrate a Warriors championship. But in the meantime, you pace yourself throughout the day, you analytically look at it, and you realize that even if there is a loss, there'll be a Game 7.
Yep, absolutely. Again, the panic meter has been thrown out with the bathwater, okay? So that's for sure. If I actually wanted to challenge you about something today, it's not really about that. It's about something else that has taken place. You've infiltrated someone in a way that really, really is kind of disturbing, which really lands all of you right in the middle of what are you doing?
Willard and Dibs have a lot to say.
My only weapon was my mouth.
But they just have one big question.
What are you doing right now?
What are you doing right now?
What are you doing right now?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Oh, no! We're going back to your calls here in just a second, but I was disturbed. And it's not your fault, Dan, but...
Dan, wow.
Yeah, I called you Dan. I did. Dan, clean your room. Listen, Dibs, it's not your fault, but you've infiltrated a space that I'm uncomfortable with.
Dibley Spaces.
The great Dr. Nirav Pandya, a weekly guest on this show.
Friend of the program.
He's a competitor.
We literally have odds on his tweets about who plays basketball tonight. And he sends them out faithfully. And by the way, the answer today was Andrew Wiggins. And he gave us that yesterday. He said he's not born in this country. And you said that means it's Nemanja Bjelica.
Should have been.
And we knew it probably was, or Wiggins. And so it was Andrew Wiggins. But he sent out a second tweet.
A second tweet? The doc?
And it stated, Zach Zarba referees tonight.
Oh, yeah, baby. Double Z.
Doc, we love you more than we love anybody on this show. But what are you doing? We're not going there.
You putting the doc?
I put the doc on, and parenthetically you.
What?
You do not take those tweets, which are so special going into the excitement of these games, and point them toward referees. This is your fault, Dibs. He learned it by watching you, Dibs.
Exactly.
He learned it by watching you.
I learned it from you, Dad. It's from one doctor to another, an actual doctor and a fake radio doctor. He and I are colleagues in this realm, and he understands the importance of who officiates tonight. And I applaud you, Dr. Nirav Pandya, for understanding who officiates tonight, because it is Zach Zarba,
Terrible.
one of the two best in the business. And
He's
if it
good,
comes
yeah.
to a Game 7, the true elite of the elite will be on the whistle. We all know that. Warrior fans are already pre-cringing over Scott Foster, maybe blowing the whistle. Shout out Too Short. Yeah. But yeah, Zach Zarba officiates tonight. He's not wrong.
No, he's not wrong.
So how dare you put the doctor in your crosshairs?
Because you're not putting that alongside Andrew Wiggins, like our excitement level. You are the only one who's allowed to be excited about refs, and we only do that so that you won't freak out when someone else calls in and says, I hated that call last night, because that, of course, is going to happen tomorrow.
Do you realize how many likes he got on that tweet? He got, I think, 50 likes and counting over his Zach Zarba.
How many did he get on the Andrew Wiggins one?
Maybe 49. I got to check.
Not true.
I got to Google it.
Marvin in San Francisco, you're next up on Willard and Dibs. What's up, Marvin? What are you doing? Marvin?
Hello?
Oh, yes. Hi. Hi.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't. I'm a little hard of hearing. I didn't.
No
hear you call my
problem.
name.
No problem.
Anyway,
We're here. What's
I
up?
have a couple of things. First of all, the Warriors led in Game 1 by 12 going into the fourth quarter. Boston goes 9 for 9 from 3, okay? Outside of that 4-minute stretch of that Game 1, this series would already be over with all the same players and all the same analysis and all this and all that. The Warriors are way, way overdue for a hot shooting night. The last one that the team had was the 144 points they scored, I think, against Denver early in the playoffs. Since then, they've been way under their season average. They're like at 29%, 31% or something, and they were a 33% or 34% shooting team. Clay has been Mr. Fourth Quarter this entire playoffs. He'd go 0 for 7, and then he'd be 3 for 3 in the fourth quarter. He has hit a ton of clutch shots. So even when Curry went for 43, the Warriors were 22% from 3 team-wide. So they are way overdue for a hot night, and it won't matter where they are, as Clay showed in Game 6 in Oklahoma City. Boston shot 49% from threes in Game 1 because of that streak they had. They average around 32%, I think maybe slightly lower for the season. And so they've been reverting to the norm. So in spite of the fact that they're home and they got, all this and all that, the Warriors have obviously enhanced their defense. They're a veteran team that sees the trophy on the other side of the room sitting on the table. They're going to be more focused, I think, than they've ever been.
So Marvin, let us jump in here for a second.
I have a limit of 7 stats per call.
Right. So we got a little bit of a mathematical brain going here, which is fine. I already mentioned my math teacher, Dad. But let me jump in here. When you get to Game 6 of the NBA Finals, I think you got to stop thinking in terms of percentages. A, you're playing a much better defense. B, these dudes are exhausted. I want you to go watch Game 7 of the NBA Finals when the Lakers took on the Celtics. Kobe Bryant against the Celtics when the Lakers ended up winning that. And everybody was 2 for 80 in the game. Nobody, what was the final score? 83-81 or some junk like that? Nobody could shoot anything because you are mentally, emotionally, physically exhausted when you get to the end of these series. So I'm not telling you the Warriors can't have a hot shooting night, but whatever their percentages were in January, that ain't got nothing to do with tonight.
Right. Tonight has nothing to do with anything. As we talked about this series, Mark, every game has been a standalone game. There's been no carryover. There's been no statistical trend that's led from one place to another. Draymond Green, games 3 and 4, not good. Game 5, he was better. Can he show up in Game 6 and play well? I don't think any of these games have any carryover effect on the other.
Yep, agree completely. 888-957-9570. Sophomore in Pacifica. Hey, sophomore, what are you doing? Oh, hang on. My fault. Hey, sophomore, what are you doing?
Gentlemen.
What's up?
Gentlemen. Yes, hey. 2 points to make if you can indulge me for a minute. The first point is I mock hate you guys because I figured most day of game sports radio is boosterism and anxiety and hysteria, and it's a mess. I figured I could get some work done today before going to Chase Center for the watch party with my granddaughter.
Oh, good.
But you guys are bringing it, so I can't turn off the damn radio. So that's my first point.
My fault.
Sorry, not sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, right, exactly. And second, Mills' call was not bad, and someone made a good point earlier that the Celtics need to come out strong in the first quarter to make it exciting game.
That was Dibs.
If they do not come out strong in the first quarter, it's going to be like 3 hours of watching a python choke out a baby panda as the Warriors grind them into destruction, and it will be glorious for Warriors fans to watch. That's me. I'm out.
So he's out. Rack him.
So
the python versus the baby panda.
3-hour choke of so this would be the opposite of Panda Express, I guess.
That's a solid 4. That's a long game, by the way. A 3-hour game.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's a 3 for Pandemonium.
Yeah, I just, it's funny. We say, okay, one game doesn't affect the next. I sort of feel like one quarter doesn't affect the next. I'm not going to disagree with you that a big start is important, especially when you're the home team. I get it. The Celtics need to have that flurry. They need to have that, we're at home, this is our building, this is our game. I agree with you, they need that. But if they get that, it doesn't mean the Warriors aren't going to have a crazy third quarter and win the game. We've watched the Celtics do that to the Warriors a couple of times.
I think the best path to victory, though, for Boston is being in front, be up front early, keep the crowd in it, keep the lead, and put the Warriors under some pressure. And I want to ask you on the other side, who is under more pressure? Is it the Warriors trying to win a fourth and close it out now, or is it a Boston team with its back against the wall?
Okay, I'll answer that, and also we'll continue to get your answers on if the Warriors win tonight, then to you, as an individual fan, it means what? Fill in that blank. We'll continue to do that throughout the morning at 888-957-9570. That is our Xfinity mobile text line as well. Great guests still coming up ahead on this show. Matt Barnes at 10:30. Sean Grandy, voice of the Celtics, is at 11:15. It's Willard and Dibs on 95.7 The Game.